Hey all, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to share up close and personal about the energy of the shadow and how I've been journeying with it recently. And I'm showing here a picture of my backyard, overgrown, weeds, and it just feels like over winter it's been so unattended, and spring has come and I want to be outside to enjoy the sunshine and the birds and nature, and I feel like there's a fair bit of work that needs to be done, cleaned up and integrated for me to actually enjoy this place over spring and summer. And it feels like that's what's happened with the shadow recently. I was at an integrating the shadow retreat, and even though I've done shadow work and transpersonal work for quite a few years now, there's always another layer of going, yeah, this is a new depth to be able to drop into, Helen. And I certainly got my mileage out of my retreat, and it's been a week now, and the integration has been happening in some powerful ways and also some subtle ways. So let me turn the camera over to me so I can say hello in person. Far out. Sometimes I wonder, I don't know about you, but wouldn't have been easier to just still be asleep for a while, but it's not my journey, and it's not how I'm able to keep myself in my truth space and also be with those around me as well. And the shadow for me this time feels like the unwelcome visitor and a knock on the door that you get at about 2 in the morning, and you don't want to get out of sleep and open up and get it, not even knowing who's there and what you're going to be confronted with. And it took me into a place and a space of feeling this energy and working with it in a lot of different ways this week, and getting an understanding of what it is here, what it is that's been hidden, and this energy that I experienced up close and personal that I ended up running away from because it was so overpowering and so overwhelming that I literally got up and I started running. And it was an energy that I first felt when I was a little girl, maybe about 4 or 5. And back then it ended up feeling like it was my worst nightmare. And so because I didn't have a big reference point, this time round it felt like it was my second worst nightmare. But thankfully I also knew that I've got a lot of skills and I'm going to be able to feel into it and work through it. So what is the shadow? The shadow is the hidden aspect of ourselves. It's not necessarily negative or disempowering, but it's a part of us that plays out unconsciously and plays out some consciously as well, in the way that we relate to others, in the way that we relate to ourselves. And for me specifically, I've come to realize what it is that I do in all my relationships that I have from a very, very young age to make myself quite useful, so then I don't get to actually feel this shadow part of myself that lurks underneath, that is so, so powerful and overwhelming, that it's unfettered and not vetted. And long story short, it feels that what I can do and what people do with shadow is lock it away and then work with all the nice stuff, all the pretty stuff and all the nice stuff. So what the power is in the shadow, we try and find that in the light and think that we've integrated it. So it can leave you feeling incomplete, and it can leave people feeling like they're doing the same lessons in life over and over again, and also hiding behind what truly needs to be done, what needs to be brought to the light, not run away from it, and talk to the shadow like it is a new friend. Get to know it, lean into it. feel what it's got to teach you. But the biggest thing is actually making the actions and the decisions to create the change that you want, and allow the shadow to actually guide the way, not overwhelm you, not take over, but to actually be there like a friend. Just like I love to befriend the light and all the feel-good stuff in life, need to be able to also bring this into the light, so it can work together. It can show me where I need to filter, where I need to have boundaries, where I need to say, hey, this is actually disappointing me, or I'm actually curious here. What makes you think that I have this capacity to say, keep giving, or keep showing up, or whatever the case might be? So I'm going to leave it there, and I'll come and check back in again as more comes to light. But I just wanted to share that for a lot of us in this time period, in this forecast, that we are in it together, that the shadow is coming through to be played through in a lot of different ways, and there are a lot of mental health disturbances that are happening for quite a few people, and relationships that are just not making the mark, people running away, or maybe they're just running towards themselves. So in light of the shadow, I salute me, I salute you, and I look forward to getting some responses from you below. Let me know how your journey has been too.